without a doubt, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Flawless. I hated this book. I would probably say Divine Rivals, Fourth Wing, and A Court of Mist and Fury cried majority of this book. Can you see everything over here? Hopefully you can't hear Logan. She's showering right now. She's also singing out loud. You can definitely hear her. She's singing vigilante shit. It's time for the end of the year book tag. I'm very excited about this. I'm not gonna lie. I started this earlier, was just not feeling great about it. I was very low energy, so we're gonna redo it. Okay, we're just gonna jump right in. Most disappointing read of the year. Without a doubt, Once Upon a Broken Heart. This was so hyped up. I was so excited to read this. Just felt completely short. Didn't love any of the characters, didn't like her writing style, just didn't do it for me. I'll read the rest of the trilogy and see if it gets better, but like just did not do it for me. Next, I have most surprising book of the year. Honestly, I would say the most surprising would be The Naturals. I had heard it was good. All I knew was that it was like Criminal Minds and it was YA, and sometimes YA books can be very boring to me. I need romance in books to fully enjoy it. Whoa. No, you okay? Oh my god, Stinky just attacked the shit out of Luna. All 4 of Luna's feet came off the ground. I've never seen that before. Anyways, The Naturals. I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did, and I'm almost done with the whole series, but I am just absolutely obsessed with these characters. I thought it was cute. It had enough romance to like satiate that part. Loved it. Obsessed. A book that was overhyped, I have 2. Flawless from Chestnut Springs series. All I heard, Chestnut Springs. Didn't do it for me. The guy was kind of icky, just kind of boring. Like maybe I'll read the next one because it's on Kindle Unlimited and I heard that the next one's better, but just it didn't do it for me. And the next was One Dark Window. Also did not do it for me. This was one of the most confusing fantasies I've ever read, and I've read plenty now to where I shouldn't be that confused reading a book. There were so many plot holes, not plot holes, but like so many different plots she was trying to do. No, it was so hyped up. I heard the second one was better because it has his point of view too. What's his name? Jasper? I don't even know. I'll read the second one. Maybe it'll get better. Who knows? Favorite book couples of the year? Clearly, I have to go with Rysand and Feyre. And yes, I say Rysand instead of, I don't like Rhysand. So Rysand and Feyre are number 1. They just can do no wrong. Rysand can do no wrong. He is absolutely phenomenal. Love him with all my heart. Next, I would probably say Xaden and Violet. Xaden sometimes can do wrong. Is the only reason they're number 2 is that he's not as amazing as Rysand, but they would be number 2. And then third would be Zaid and Addie from Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I feel like they're all very similar couples. So if I were to pick a book couple that is not from like the holy trinity of books that are my favorite, I would pick Rose and Connor from Kiss the Sky. I didn't grab that book, but from the Calloway Sisters series, I love Rose and I love Connor. Rose is just so like badass and Connor's so silly and flirty. I love them. Happiest read of the year. This one's hard to pick because there aren't like that many just straight up happy books, but I would pick A Court of Frost and Starlight. Obviously it's a novella, so most of it is just to like tie up loose ends or give you little teeny stories. I loved everything. I cried. It was really needed in the series. The most frustrating book? Easy. I hated this book. The last time I recorded this, Logan joined me to talk about how much we hated this book, so I'm gonna add it here. Logan came in the middle of talking shit about this, obviously.
I love talking shit about books.
So tell me your feelings too.
I hate it.
Was this your favorite book too?
Yeah.
This is my most frustrating book.
Least favorite for sure. Like I've never like hated a book.
That's exactly what I said.
Really?
I've never hated 2 main characters like this.
Yeah, he's psychotic.
Openly says he hates women and only wants them for sex.
And then is like, ew, they're so like sickly and like skinny and bony. I'm like,
he talks about the main character in the literal worst ways and then would get mad if she went to go on a date with someone else and then cheated on her.
Yeah, when he got
times.
her. Yeah, when he got her, he was like,
oh my
god,
god.
her. Why am
His
I with her?
inner monologue was like, oh my god, I need her. I need her right now. And then got her. And then immediately was like the next day, he was like, ew.
He was like, I can't wait to get her out of my sight.
He's like, literally, she's so skinny and gross.
Yeah.
And then her POV was like, oh my god, I need to stop eating. The whole time.
Yeah.
She was like, god, I literally am so fat the whole time.
He thinks I'm fat. I can't do that. And I was like,
I've just never been an author that talks about weight the entire book.
Yeah.
Hated the man's POV, hated the woman's POV. It is constant, I hate women, I only want them for sex. And then from her POV, it's constant, I can't eat any calories, I have to be skinny. It's just, it was so exhausting to read. It made me hate being a woman, and it made me hate men. So none of it was enjoyable for me. None of it. The longest book that I read, I feel like this one's hard because word count and page count are very different. For example, this is 756 pages and this is 623 pages, but this has 200,000 words and this has 251,000 words. So like technically this is way bigger than this, but page wise this is bigger. So like it's hard to do that. So technically page wise pucking around, but actually word count wise manacled, this is 370,515 words. It doesn't look that big. It really doesn't. But when you read part 1 and then part 2 and then you reread part 1, it's insane. It's a lot. So longest book of the year is Manacled. And I ate up everything. And then shortest book of the year would be That One Night. Measly little 72 pages, ate up every page. Favorite cover of the year, I would probably say Divine Rivals, which the second one, Ruthless Vows, came out today. Also love that one. They're gonna be beautiful next to each other. Clearly like love the whole Iron Flame Fourth Wing covers, but I feel like this one kind of takes the cake. Or dang it, I didn't grab it, but Throne of the Fallen, I'll put a picture here. That one's also really pretty. A book I haven't stopped thinking about, The Haunting and Hunting duet. Think about it probably every day. Also think about Manacled probably every day. Not kidding. I would say Fourth Wing too, but I feel like I think about Manacled just more often. That's not me being exaggerated, probably once a day. Cringiest book of the year, super easy pick. Tessa Bailey, Wreck the Halls. I have never been egged out more by a guy than in this one. If you haven't read it, I will summarize it for you pretty easily. He is into edging because he's had such an easy life. He feels like he doesn't deserve to finish. He's a beggar. He likes to beg a lot, and it's just not cute. He's super icky. He gets a little too overprotective too, and it's just not cute. He didn't do it for me, and like if it wasn't a book club pick, I probably wouldn't have finished that book. It was awful. Unpopular book you loved. I don't know if they meant a book known that was hated or just like a book no one knew about, but I'm going book no one knew about. People may know about this one. I didn't know about this one. I'd never heard it before. From the Embers, super fun idea, loved it. Had never heard of it. It was book club and ended up loving it. Very interesting concept where house blows up, husband accidentally saves his best friend's wife instead of his wife because they were wearing similar clothing. Their spouses died. Just very like heartwarming. They have to figure out life together now when they didn't really even get along in the first place, and they had kids. It's just very heartwarming and also like very cool. Spiciest. Okay, this is probably a tie between Haunting and Hunting Adeline and Pucking Around. I will say this, like the smut in this is probably smuttier than this because this one involves 4 people, so it's just a little crazier, but like this is also crazy and you know this is crazy. If I had to pick one, this one is probably more questionable. They're both amazing. I don't know. The highest and lowest rated on my Goodreads, and if I agree or not. So my highest rated was Manacled. It had a 4.67, which yes, I agree, 100% agree. And then I had a tie between Fourth Wing and A Court of Mist and Fury. These both had 4.64. Fully agree. These are 3 of my absolute favorite books ever, so of course I agree. My lowest rated, which I'm kind of shocked, this book wasn't that bad. I read this like very recently, 3.31. Kind of shocked by that. Like I didn't hate it. It wasn't like the best book ever. It's really tiny. It's a little horror novel. Not terrible, but next. This got 3.33. Hyde, one of my least favorite books I've ever read. Terrible, hated it. Seemed really cool. It was like a hide and seek game kind of in an abandoned amusement park for money, like with adults. Like if you're last, you win all this money. And it was like a cult and there was a monster, a literal made up monster in a human world. It wasn't a fantasy book. If it was a fantasy book, sure, make a monster. This is a human world. There's a monster that eats people for whatever cult reason. Don't know, hated it. It says favorite quotes of the year, which would take me absolutely hours to peel through, but I read a quote recently in Pucking Wild, which I don't have. That's in the mail right now. I don't have it, but it's when Mars, who's like the sweetie, he's very quiet and like looks like really scary, and he's like this huge tall hockey player, and he was talking to this like golden retriever boyfriend, talking about the girl that he was in love with and that he was like scared to tell her, basically was like the scenario they were in. And the grizzly guy asked the golden retriever kind of like what he loves about her, and then he was like, I love her laugh, she doesn't laugh enough. And then I'm getting emotional thinking about it. And like later on he told her to like stay with Tess and like go be with her, and he said go make her laugh. And like coming from Mars, who's just like this big grizzly bear, I literally was like, It was so cute. Like, if I could have Go Make Her Laugh on a poster, I would. Might make that into a poster and hang it on my walls. That was so cute. And then basically anything Zayden, my chair, my house, my woman. My throne, my chair, my house, my woman. Duh. Anything Zayden says, really. And then anything Rysan says. When he got on his knees, something about, I don't get on my knees for anyone but my woman in my city. I don't know. One of those. Book with the most unique concept. There's a couple. Obviously, just like writing style wise, I would say Manacled is the most unique. Plot wise, I would say Divine Rivals was very cool, where they were writing through a magic typewriter. You know. That's about all I got for that one. But then I also thought The Last Word was very cool concept. Honestly, this book wasn't even like a 5-star for me, but the concept itself was very cool. It just wasn't executed the way I wanted it to. But there's a girl reading at a secluded cabin. She's like house sitting, and she leaves a 1-star review of the book she just read, and the author answers it and is like, hello, and then starts stalking her. So that one was very cool. Saddest books. I will say I cried majority of this book. Manacled, for the like 4th time now, Manacled won the superlative. Most gut-wrenching, heart-stopping story. Other than Manacled, I'd probably say If He Had Been With Me. If you haven't read it, I don't really want to tell you why. Just, it's a very sad YA love story. Scariest. I've talked about this in my 5-star series books. Hidden Pictures scared me. I read it in the middle of the night and it genuinely scared me because it has to do with nannying, and the kid starts drawing really scary pictures at like 5 years old, and she can like hear the kid playing with someone when she's nannying him, and it's just very creepy. Before I do like a favorite of the year, I'm also gonna bring Logan in to do a favorite of the year. One of the questions was like a reading goal reflection and your 2024 reading goal. For 2023, I had set 75 books. I am on book 74. I'm almost done with All In for the Natural, so that would be book 75, and we're also doing a readathon in like 2 days. So I will surpass my goal, thank God. I didn't last year, and I think I picked like 100 books last year for some reason. I was very generous with that. Very, I don't know what the word is that I'm thinking of, but I hit it this year. I think next year I'm either gonna do 80 or just stick with 75, because I think 75 was a really good number, because I had some slow months, but I had some really good months. Odds are I'll stick with 75. I feel good about that number. One of the questions was, what am I prioritizing in 2024? I need to prioritize my TBR. I have so many books that I own. I'm also prioritizing finishing series. I have a bad habit of starting a series, reading either just the first one and moving on to something else, or reading half the series and then moving on to something else for some reason. I don't know. I'm in the middle of like 11 series, whether it be series or duologies or trilogies. I need to finish those, and I also need to stop buying books. It's bad. It's so bad. That's it for the questions, other than my favorite and least favorite of the year. I'll get least favorite out of the way. I feel like it's pretty obvious. Where'd she go? I just hated her so much. Least favorite of the year is Tell Me Lies. I think Logan also was gonna say Tell Me Lies, but favorite of the year, this one was really hard to do. I read so many good books this year. I would say my runners-ups would probably be Manacled, low-key Pucking Around, all of ACOTAR. ACOWAR was my favorite one. I didn't even get it over here, but any of these. But I think my favorite of the year, Fourth Wing, has to be. Read it when it first came out, adored it, reread it right before Iron Flame came out, and I loved it even more. I don't care what anyone says. I don't want to hear the hate. I absolutely adore this book, and it was my favorite of the year. Shout out to Book Club. Their favorite reads, Adair's was also either Fourth Wing or Happy Place by Emily Henry, and Haley's was Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. That was her favorite of the year, which I didn't read. She also hasn't read Fourth Wing yet, so maybe Logan. Fourth Wing could have been one of her favorites. She just hasn't read it yet. Now we'll wait to see what Logan's favorite read of the year is.
Little do you know, I'm off camera.
Okay, what's your favorite?
My favorite is really, like, they're tied. I don't even know, like, how to explain it. I want Kendall to read it so bad. Excuse me. So, obviously, the first favorite, Fourth Wing. Kendall talks about every video, so I won't go into it.
I do.
My next favorite, tied for first, Powerless. I can't even begin. It's so good. The banter, the chemistry in Powerless is just unmatched. Actually no. Yes. I will to say, Divine Rivals is really good. I forget that you read this, that you read this. Because, like, you, like, weren't as, like, woo gang about it as I was.
Woo gang.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know where that came from either.
I was gonna be like yeehaw, but, like, woo gang came out.
It's giving Liv and Maddie.
What is, like, boom chicken soup?
That's not what they say, but anyways.
Yes, it is.
No.
Boom chicken pop?
It's like, I don't care. I really don't care at all. Anyways, that's it. That's it for the video. Yay! So, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
YouTube kiss to the face.
To the face.
Ew.
You wanna be in Ninny's video?
Nanny! Nanny!
Ninny! Ninny! Ow.
Palmer! Ah! What's your name? What's your name? Palmer! Good job.
What's her name?
Yeah!
Yeah, what's my name?
What's her name?
Aki! We lost her.
What's Santa say? Good job.
What does a witch say?
Luna. No. Say bad, Luna.
She's on the bookshelf.
She's behind the books. Bad, Luna.
Bad Luna.